Welcome back to the Stable Life channel. I'm Dr. Mitch Spiro, licensed psychologist, owner of Stable Life, and this is part 3 of bullying and bully prevention. All of us have known somebody that has been bullied or experienced it ourselves. Today's information is a theoretical framework and then the grand finale of what you can do for your children or adolescents or even young college students to help them to avoid this phenomenon from occurring again and again. The first thing to realize is that bullies are individuals that have generally experienced some type of emotional suffering or pain earlier in their life. It was theoretically formulated many years ago that we all go through different psychosocial stages of adjustment. Erickson, very well-known psychologist, talked about the initial phase from birth to a couple years old of trust versus mistrust. When individuals cry, whether they're hungry or need a diaper change or just attention, they look for a care provider to meet their needs. If they develop that sense of trust at that age, that can last a lifetime. But for those children that don't have those needs met, they often lead to a level of mistrust and have difficulty connecting with others. The second stage is known as autonomy versus shame and doubt. At a young age, we begin to want to try things. Mothers or fathers often say, "Don't do that, you'll break your neck, you'll get hurt. You have to be careful." Well, the child either develops a sense that I can do certain things or I'm not going to be able to. So the shame and doubt is often that they're not listening to the authority figures. So if we're developing with mistrust, shame and doubt, we get to the next level. We call it initiative versus guilt. And the way of recognizing that is the child that takes the initiative to try something new, to start something, to feel good about it. And if they don't, they end up feeling guilty and harsh on themselves. Already you can begin to see the pattern. They're not trusting, they're doubting, self-doubting, doubting of others, doubting others' motivations to want to help and be a part of their lives. And now they're going through a level of guilt. We call it industry versus inferiority next, as Erickson said. That's the time frame about 5th grade, where boys and girls start comparing themselves to others. And when that begins, a lot of the internal anger that's been harbored for years begins to show itself. That's when, as boys, we all knew who was the tallest, who was the strongest, who was the best in certain sports, who was the most popular. And the girls compared themselves with intelligence, looks, but mainly popularity. So this is where bullying often comes to the surface, even though it may start as young as kindergarten or even pre-K. This is the age where it comes to cleaner vision to the adults that are in supervisory roles. After that, we talk about identity versus identity diffusion. If somebody develops a sense of identity because of power and control, and they already have a dislike for others and don't trust them, these are the individuals that, as psychologists and other mental health professionals, we begin to recognize have the potential to act out. There are going to be programs in Florida and New York, such as already occurs in Virginia, called mental health. Next year in Florida. The same as the other programs in other states, not for Psych 101, but for individuals in school from 6th through 12th grade to learn to understand anxiety, pathology of a level of depression, anger management, and by educating our children at a young age, kind of like what we try to do with anything dealing with sexuality. It'll be by a parent's approval most likely, but we're going to teach the kids how to identify others that are creating problems. Now, Alfred Adler, another well-known doctor, emphasized that we all need 2 significant, as I say significant, that's one, major feelings in our life. One is to feel secure. When you're bullied, you lose that sense of security. Second is to feel significant, as though you matter, as though people care about you and love you. So we take from Erikson and then Adler, and we go down the line to Maslow. Maslow is known for a hierarchy of needs. We start with physiological needs. Safety comes later. But the first are food, water, shelter, love being expressed and received. Then we progress to a level of whether or not we feel safe. That's the key. It's an early need. Next, we go to the level of belonging. If we don't feel a sense of belonging, that's where the isolation occurs. That's when an individual becomes more of a target for bullying. When we combine different theories, some may be more applicable than others. But the next phase deals with self-esteem and love, the ability to care for yourself, to believe that you're worth standing up for, or that you're standing up for your friend, relative, neighbor, classmate, whomever. And then we come to the highest level, known as self-actualization, where we're feeling completely together with our thoughts, our behaviors, our actions. And when somebody is being bullied, it's very difficult to get to that level. Only 1% of our population is known to be at that level at any given time. So, part of our presentation, Deborah Brown and myself, is basically to help you help others, or to help yourself to prevent or destroy the concept that the other individual has that you're a good target. Now, it was Freud who wasn't right about everything. It's not always your mother's fault, you know? But I will say, certain aspects of his theoretical framework of personality development are still very much alive and well. The id, the ego, and the superego by Burns have been renamed as the adult, the parent, and the child parts of our personalities. We need to bring the adult part of the personality to the forefront to bust the bully. In other words, the child experiences fear. The parent says, you need to nurture yourself, take care of yourself. You need to be able to look out for yourself. But it's the combination of fear and wanting the parent part to come that brings us to the adult part of the personality. So Freud put it as the id is, I want what I want when I want it, and I want it right now. Either give it to me or get out of my way. The second part is the parent. The parent part says specifically, I'm going to nurture, I'm going to love, I'm going to support, and you're going to do what you should do. That's what we're trying to get our children and teenagers and young adults to learn. And then finally, we call it the ego that blends the id and the superego into the formation of the ego, which is basically the adult, which is most important in getting along with others. Not doing what you should do, not doing what you want, but blending the two to succeed. If I continue theoretically, I'd like to go on with Carl Rogers. Carl Rogers was known to help people to learn to accept themselves and their situations, but to form a relationship that's based on unconditional positive regard. Basically, so that the child or the individual being bullied, maybe even the adult being bullied by the homeowners association, is able to speak up because they believe someone will listen. Now, one of the main problems with bullying is that girls bully extremely well from early childhood through adulthood. Even in cyberbullying these days, they spread rumors. They make threats. They say things that are just downright mean. Males that bullies are often caught because they want to be shown as having power to others. What I've developed, and is now being published through the corporation of Stable Life LLC for the use at any school, any other location, from pre-K all the way through college and beyond, is an anonymous reporting form. That means that the paper is blank and available, or on the computer can be printed out and available. It's through Stable Life, and it will be available through our channel. But basically, it says who was the bully, who, what, when, where, and why, and then what should be done about it. In case you weren't listening, I'm teasing, but it's who was, where did it occur, what actually happened, when did it happen, why did it happen, actually who else saw the actual event, and finally what should be done on an anonymous reporting form. Children, adults, homeowners have a right to speak up for themselves, to be heard, to explain that what they're experiencing is not normal and needs to change. Our message to all of you is that you do not need to be a victim eternally. You can change the direction of your life and others by speaking up, and in my terminology, bust the bully, whether it be a 4-year-old child or your homeowners association, or even someone working at the university that you're having a tough time with. When you go to the proper authorities and seek help, whether the authority be an elementary school teacher or a college dean or a homeowners association, or in the place of work, the employee assistance program, with an anonymous form, asking others that have experienced the same phenomenon or witnessed the same event. When the authority figures receive enough forms stipulating exactly what's occurring, by whom, and who's actually suffering, then you can be a part of busting the bully. Thank you for tuning in to our channel, Stable Life LLC, and Tales, Talking and Learning Educational Seminars. Did I do that right? TAILS. Sense of humor, bottom line, be able to laugh at yourself and others. If it's talking and learning educational seminars, that's our principle, for you to be able to learn just by watching Deborah Brown and myself as a life coach and a psychologist and author of children's books and children's games, to be able to help on many different factors throughout your life cycle and beyond. Thank you for watching again. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to our channel and help support us in providing information to many, many people that will help to change and improve the quality of theirs and your life. Thank you.